Armenia's most famous winter resort sits 1,841 meters above sea level, 6 kilometers northwest of Hrazdan. Darachitak, Tsakhkadzor, Kecharis, better known as Tsakhkadzor. These mountainsides were settled over 1,700 years ago. In the early Middle Ages, these lands belonged to the Varajnuni Principality, which administered the king's properties. The area became the possession of the Kamsarakans in the 6th century. One of their descendants, Grigor Magistros of the House of Bahlavuni, built the Grigor Lusavorich Church in Tsakhkadzor. It was later developed into the Kecharis Monastery. The monastery complex, comprising 4 churches, was destroyed and rebuilt numerous times. A completely renovated Kecharis opened its doors in 2001. Hundreds of faithfuls visited every day. We're delighted to be here. We've come from Hrazdan with the children to relax and have some fun. The monastery complex, in the town's northwestern section, is where Grigor Bahlavuni and Crown Prince Prosh, who died in battles against the Seljuks, are buried. In the early days of the Soviet Union, Tsakhkadzor was developed into a summer resort where only top officials could own real estate. In 1958, the area began to be officially referred to as a city-like town. In 1984, it was granted the status of a city. We visit here once or twice a year, sometimes more often. It's wonderful, very relaxing. In the past decade, some 20 luxurious hotels, as well as cafes and leisure centers, were built in the vicinity of the Soviet-era resort complexes. Although Tsakhkadzor's healthful climate attracts visitors in summer too, winter is the peak season. In the heart of the city lies the ski school, where future skiers are trained. As a rule, the school's 156 students come here after class. We have some great students, but are short on supplies. Skiing is an expensive sport. With the right support, we can produce champions here, but for now we don't even have adequate equipment. In summer, the students train on nearby hillsides, while the snow-covered slopes of Mount Terenis serve as their winter grounds. A year before the 1968 Summer Olympic Games in Mexico City, the Soviet government hastily built the country's principal Olympic sports complex in Tsakhkadzor, since it was the only city in the Soviet Union to have an elevation approaching that of Mexico City. 4 years later, Tsakhkadzor's ski lift was built, mainly for the benefit of Olympic athletes. This is the only section preserved from the old lift. The completely rebuilt ski lift, with 5 stations, was reopened in 2008. Today, it takes only 40 minutes to reach the top of Mount Terenis. Whenever the strong winds pounding the summit get too dangerous, sections of the lift are shut down for the safety of visitors. For instance, the 5th and 1st stations don't stop running because there's little wind in their segments. But up above, the 2nd and 3rd stations are often closed because of high winds. In winter, the ski lift is open every day from 9:30 till 5:30. Inspections are performed twice a year to check cables, seats, and sports equipment and make repairs or replacements. The job of those who maintain the ski trails is particularly hard, as they have to work at night so that the trails look like this in the morning. Many types of sport equipment are available for rent here. Visitors from abroad say that compared to other ski resorts, everything costs significantly less in Tsakhkadzor. This is my first time in Armenia. We love skiing and we've been enjoying it for a long time. Finally, we got to visit Tsakhkadzor. It's great. This is my child's first skiing experience. It's so much fun. I'm not scared at all. The instructor was very good. My child began skiing within 3 days. We're so happy. Since it's easier to ski in the coldest time of day, the ski lift is busiest in the morning. Not all visitors are professional skiers. Most are beginners. All are advised to get skiing lessons. And if some opt not to, they're nonetheless given the same piece of advice. If you lose your balance and see a fall coming, try to land on your side. That would be the safest. The more adventurous ones can rent snowboards. If skiers are advised to land on either side in case they lose balance, snowboarders are told to jump back in a similar situation. Serving each customer includes checking the snowboard bindings and their foot size. We train beginners step by step. The instructors say that beginners need only 3 hours of training to start skiing. This was his first lesson, just 2 hours. 2 more hours of training and he will be able to ski. The instructors are delighted to train children. Lessons can be given to kids as young as 3 years old. I'm disappointed because he skied all the way down the slope but flung himself down at the last moment. While Armenians visit Tsakhkadzor to unwind, most foreign travelers come here to ski. It's an excellent ski run. Armenia is marvelous. We love its mountains and everything else it has to offer. We'd heard that this is a great resort, with a convenient ski lift, great hotels and food. Now we've confirmed it all with our own eyes. Honestly, the Armenians have been a revelation. They're open, friendly, and positive. We've already made several friends. We'll come back, and not just once. By 6 in the evening, visitors leave the Kecharis hillsides for their hotels. They usually go out at night and enjoy Armenian cuisine. Tsakhkadzor is always bustling, with the number of locals surpassed by that of visitors. They travel here in winter for skiing, and in summer for enjoying the cool, clean air. It's sought out particularly by those with respiratory illnesses. With its dazzling nature, services, and people, Tsakhkadzor is hospitable and welcoming in all seasons.